All
definitely
right. So with the current abortion controversy in Alabama, should further laws be made regarding abortion, or should abortion laws be independent based on individual states? So I want to start off with asking you guys, like, how do you feel about abortion? Like, do you think it's wrong, or like, do you
Well,
think
I
it's...
think the woman should have the ultimate choice because, I mean, it's like most people they're against abortions because it's a religious thing, but I mean, like you can't really affiliate a religion with the U.S.
Politics
And also, yeah, it has to stay separate. And also, like, I understand how like abortions can be wrong, especially in like the late stages of pregnancy. You're kind of murdering a baby.
Mhm.
But then I think that's a different problem that would like fall into a subcategory. And then like if it's an abortion in the later stages, then like it should be a problem that should be taking much more effort. But if it's in the early stages and it can be prevented, then I think I believe that the woman should have the choice.
Yeah. Ultimately, like, morally, I'm like, I don't feel like abortion is a good thing, but it's not my saying it because I'm not the one carrying the baby. I'm not that woman having it. I'm not gonna even probably meet that person or anything. That's her life. She's gonna live on either with the baby or not, and it's not gonna affect me. So ultimately, it's their choice. In my opinion.
I'm pro-choice, but I think we have to stop kidding ourselves in thinking that abortion is just like, oh, it's whatever. It's I'm just gonna get an abortion because I'm gonna have a baby.
Mhm.
It's not morally right to just because it's like we've taken the concept of creating life, and we think we're treating it like
Like God.
we're like playing God.
Yeah.
We but then again, I think of a situation like a 15-year-old girl getting raped and
Yeah.
she wants to keep her baby. She doesn't want to keep her baby. I think she should be allowed to have an abortion. But okay, now switch it over to a 35-year-old woman who had a one-night stand.
Yeah, like people can just have casual
Yeah.
sex.
Casual sex encounter, a consensual casual sex encounter,
Yeah.
was your
And
responsibility.
abortion is just a tool just to to get rid of it.
Yeah, it's just like it's almost it's just it's stupid how because it's your responsibility, right? You gotta live with the consequence. You treated sex as a pleasure thing, and that's up to you. It doesn't have to be a sacred thing for you if you don't want it to be. But you treat it as that, and now take responsibility for what happens, right? I don't think you should just be willing to go through an abortion because honestly, it's gonna. Okay, so already you're throwing away potential life, and on top of that, women's bodies suffer from abortions. Like it's bad to their physical health. So unless there's a serious reason, like a rape case, if we are able to detect something wrong with this kid and like his quality of life will not be as good for either the mother or the son, then obviously yes. Like if you're living under the poverty level, then it's like,
Oh yeah.
yes.
And
that's
talking about poverty,
good,
like
yeah.
that's one of the big reasons why like people are like for like pro-choice is because like a lot of people who have abortions or need abortions are like in poverty or like lower class, and like having another baby, one will make it, will cause like a welfare problem, and then like especially it's hard for people in poverty to raise a child, and secondly, those kids raised in poverty can have a bad upbringing,
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not fair to the child to be brought up in a way, and also there has been a correlation with like crime and like crime and like unwanted birth.
Yeah.
Were you guys do you guys know about the super criminal kind of prediction that was supposed to happen around the 90s? So basically what happened was around like the 80s, a lot of things were happening, a lot of drug related things were happening, and then predictions made by like people who were like criminologists and stuff, they basically thought that like in the 90s, this is when we were gonna get like a whole generation of just like badass like fucking kids, like super bad, like just like criminals. Like we were gonna get like a generation of criminals, but I'm pretty sure around that time was when abortions became widely legal. And basically what happened was like those families that are you were saying, like live in poverty, they have like high rates of crime and stuff because they can't be supported. Those generations never happened because the mothers were able to get abortions and prevent these children who would have grown up and like, you know, obviously like had really bad upbringings,
Yeah.
been poor, and would have turned into criminals. They never came to be. So in a way, like you could really see like how abortion's good, like in a sense, like it's good society, like it could help society because you're gonna have people who would have rather been like neglected and like treated wrong. They're not gonna exist, and it sounds harsh, but that's better than them existing in pain
Yeah.
and like suffering and having to go through hardship.
bad quality of life.
And then us growing more hateful as a society towards poverty and like towards poor people and other demographics.
And then bringing it back to like the woman's choice, like it's just another way to like control over I know not everyone that will be against abortion will be they intend it to be something that overpower women and their voice, but obviously this will be like a vehicle for some people with that agenda. And so I think for a woman that has been systematically oppressed for a while now, this is only like a harder blow and like a real step back. So yeah.
What do you think, Juan? You look like you want to say something.
I believe if a woman got raped, she should have the kid. She doesn't have to keep it. She can also give it away. She can give it up for adoption, and you are not killing anybody from, like, you are just spreading negativity if you just kill it. It's still a kid, you know. I also, oh my God, you guys were saying something, but different, you know.
What about those kids going up for adoption? You know that has like seriously like psychological effects, like growing up in foster homes and never getting a real sense of like a comfortable
Like a
open,
home.
yeah, like a home. That creates like that's like a recipe for a sociopath.
But
And that's
they're
like
not
You become
disconnected.
like kids who grow up in foster care like have a higher they're more likely to like become depressed or have mental issues or become abusers of drugs later in life to sort of medicate themselves from not having like a stable upbringing or like a really strong foundation for which they could like build upon like themselves. They kind of lack an identity in a sense.
So it's better to kill them.
Well, I mean, I don't think
Abortion is not really like killing a baby.
Yeah,
It's
you are
different.
killing the babies. The life they would have had
It's
is
still
so
a-
bad that you would kill them for them not.
Well,
to,
I
like,
mean, what do you
experience it.
consider being alive as? Like, do you consider that as being conscious or?
Yeah, you're conscious. You're aware. You're able to think for yourself.
Well,
You can act on yourself.
So you believe it's conscious?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, yeah, late term abortion. That's a whole
that's-
different like thing. But when the baby's like, and I know that people don't find out that they're pregnant until much like later on. But that's like a whole other like can of worms, you know. It's like, but definitely, I think your view on life and your own morality. Like, where do you think you get your views on abortion from?
From myself.
But like from where, like you think you this view comes based on religion or?
I believe it's just the stuff I have taken in my head. Like with the
Like your own
things I
interpretation
watch
of
and
things you
stuff,
see?
Yeah. Things I watch, things I read, you know, probably make me think this way. Things I hear. Well, abortion is like pretty bad.
What's bad? What's bad about it? Is it bad just killing? Do you?
Yeah, the act of killing. Yeah, you're killing it.
So on that topic, how do you feel about like me and Adil, we went to this presentation in our bio class about fetal dissection and people who basically their whole thing is they work on fetuses that have been either they're aborted, they were miscarriages, and they basically dissect them and use these, you know, I guess you could say they were previously alive. They use them to find cures for genetic diseases to identify like what happened and like how one could like take steps to prevent that. Do you believe that's
What happened with the baby?
Yeah, like
yeah,
how the
like
baby
how
died?
did it die? Like what
Do you-
caused like the
so it
like
just
the
Do you believe that's
miscarriage?
like
Oh, there
unethical,
was a mis-
or
there
would
was a
you
mis-
agree with like that practice, or
like a reproductive problem, you know?
If it died naturally, I guess it's just for science, right? It's
Mhm.
for science. But if you have to kill it to work on it, it's kind of like sick, you know?
Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Like if someone had a late, someone was gonna have a baby, then change their mind. I'm gonna have what is it? Abortion. I'm gonna have an abortion, and
Yeah.
things like 7 months, 6 months, and they work on that. It's kind of sick.
Well, I mean, maybe there is no 100% answer on whether abortion is morally right or wrong. Maybe it's just what society needs, not so much what it wants. But what's like your view on women getting like criminal charges against them for having an abortion?
Yeah, they're killing someone.
But so you want it viewed as murder,
Yeah, murder.
a murder charge?
Yeah, murder charge.
Yeah, why?
Why? They are killing someone. It is plain as day.
But say this was for a girl that was raped, would you still view it as the same way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're still killing someone.
And what about the guy who raped her? Which will, if he pleads guilty right off the bat, he will get a lower sentence.
Then her?
Yeah, than her. Like think about that. The man that raped her will be out of jail sooner than her.
But
That is if he is even caught.
Yeah.
To begin with.
That is a shame. That is a shame.
Would you change that if you could change the justice system? Would you give that man more time than her, or would you keep it out as?
No, it is different. It is different. Like rape, it sucks. You know, it sucks. It's
But
like
it's not
definitely
murder.
bad. It's not murder. It is not murder. You're not killing anybody. It like does suck, and they should hold men to like a higher, like it should be a higher punishment
Yeah.
for sure. Rape, but it is not murder and abortion. Like you're actually killing someone.
What do you believe would be like a punishment that would be like just for?
For the
That would
victims.
be like good for like rape, like what do you believe would be like?
Maybe help for them.
Help for the person who raped?
Yeah, like with their mind, like what's wrong with them,
Oh, okay.
and maybe some
We
time.
should move on. How long is it?
We're at 12:40.
Okay, we should move on.
So are there any final like closing thoughts you guys want to say before we move on to the next topic? Okay. All right. Good discussion. So, should sporting events allow transgender athletes to compete against the gender in which they identify as? What do you guys feel about that? Like for example, you guys seen that MMA fighter? Who was she was previously like a male.
Oh yeah,
And,
Big Little girls.
Yeah, basically, what happened was like she was her skills like so far like as far as like her skills she wasn't very like skilled, like she wasn't a very good fighter. She just really like used a lot of her
Overpowered.
strength. Yeah, because she was previously a male, so she had like male muscle, like
Yeah.
a male muscle skeleton. So
I would call her a he.
do you want to call her he for the rest of the video?
Yeah.
So you don't
Okay,
like you see.
so I think
Yeah, it's
for-
infringing on my
First
freedom of
Amendment.
speech.
Okay.
Okay, that's your.
Do what you feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say he because I feel like it's kind of unfair. Because okay, I want to say that like, I mean, I swam and I'm a dude, but like if I was swimming as a girl, like I would be CCS and I would be in like states like,
Mm-hmm.
I would like destroy, and I just think it's unfair and
Males are stronger and faster.
yeah, literally,
Yeah.
it's
Like-
true.
like
Like you
there's
cannot
no-
deny
there's no
that.
debating
It's
it,
like
yeah.
scientifically.
Yeah, you're
males are-
definitely born.
Like that's not
Born
even an
better.
equality question. Males are just stronger.
Yeah.
You're born into that, and obviously there is going to be like a female that will match you at some
Yeah.
point in life. But that is not like that
That's
number.
very
It's
exceptional.
not. Yeah, it's not like that
Yeah.
number of women that are able to match you.
And there's
It's like-
outside like factors.
It's not a majority number.
A female super athlete would probably have the same level of like athleticism as like a male athlete that was relatively professional,
Yeah.
like relatively good. But like when you compare someone like a Serena Williams
Mhm.
in tennis to someone who's maybe like
Average Joe.
not average Joe, like an average professional tennis player,
Uh-huh.
it wouldn't be a blowout. Like Serena wouldn't dominate as if she would like dominate her gender.
Yeah.
Why am I using it
Okay,
as,
she is the exception to her gender. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not like
exactly.
it's not like the quantity of athletes like her. She is not in the majority.
I think
That
if
she
she
is.
is sex, maybe like sexes. There's two sexes.
She is not in the majority. She's just
sexy?
What?
right now.
Sexes?
Right now, in like our
Sexes.
current age, the number
Like
of women
sex is.
that are like that are able to compete at like a higher level, they're just very vocal and they're very put out there. But it's not like they're in the majority at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean, it's like, and it's kind of I feel like changing your gender to compete in a sport is kind of cheating. Because there's like a lot of instances where like dudes are like, they identify themselves as a girl and then go and like dominate in the rest of the thing. And they're just like consecutive title winners. Like why? Like why would you do that?
And I want to add on to something like that. In fighting sports, actually, I've read something that estrogen actually makes your skeletal, the skeleton, like the bones on your skull, like
Softer?
face-wise. No, it makes them harder. It makes them more defined when you're taking estrogen. So say I started taking estrogen, and I took it for like a few years.
I'd like to see your
You'd
cheekbones
have
more.
My
Dude.
cheekbones, my
Your jaw.
face, my jaw would be a lot stronger than how it is now. It's
Because women tend to be more like slimmer on the face, right? Like
But you'd have boobs.
strong jaw.
but I'm saying like if it's a fighting sport
Oh, I see.
and you know knockouts, if I have
It
a
would be
stronger
knocked
jaw, it's gonna
But you also have boobs if you're taking estrogen.
yeah, but she has boobs too.
Oh, you're
Oh, yeah,
right.
We're not gonna punch
I
each
mean,
other in the boobs.
My answer to this question is pretty simple. I do not think transgender athletes should compete in
Yeah.
the sport.
I think everyone
Okay.
agrees.
No,
that it's
here's-
unfair.
Here's what I think. Like
I
instead
think
of putting them
transgender is a
in,
phase.
It's a phase.
It's a phase.
look, instead of putting them in
We're
the
sharing this one.
against the people they identify as, why not set up an actual league of transgender people? That way it's more even and they're technically fighting against
Each
the
other.
people of their own gender.
Yeah, that's
The
way better.
TFL.
Yeah.
Yes, but the
Oh,
thing is
God.
that like, what if it's a dude that's
That's such a
transgender
big
versus like a
transgender
female that's
football league.
transgender?
No, I mean like transgender
Awesome.
female versus transgender
Transgender
females,
football
league. Okay.
transgender male
TFL.
versus transgender male.
That'd
In
be
that
pretty
way.
sweet.
But
But,
yeah,
okay.
and that's more like a more of like a consensual, like unfair playing field.
Yeah,
That's like
like
you know what
marriage.
you're
Yeah.
getting into, you know.
Yeah.
And
You
if
know?
anything, I think that league will get a lot of support from people like the LGBT community. It'll find its funding and it can actually go
Yeah.
global in that way.
We want to be included. Everyone.
It's just
I'm
sports.
my concern is this.
Sports were never made to include. You know,
Yeah.
the whole. It's
Sports
like
was for entertainment.
it's like second place trophies. It's like not there comes someone comes in and someone's the winner. Not everyone has the same skills. Not everyone has the same talents. Sports is made to rule this out. Like that's what it's made for. It's not made. It's not made to have it like everyone excel at it. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I realize we don't really have a female in this discussion group, but
Yeah, so it sounds really shitty.
We
but
don't
it's
need
like-
one. We don't.
yeah,
need
we
one.
don't need one. But it's like
We can speak.
the most females I talk to, they still believe that it's like it's a BS thing to have
Yeah.
transgender people.
Yeah, because if I was like a
it
female,
throws the whole thing out.
Yeah,
if
imagine
I was in wrestling,
Yeah,
like say at
imagine
Oak Grove and I was a female, and then I had to wrestle some dude who was like me.
Uh huh.
Say I'm a female. I'm obviously not as tall as me or something, but I'm around my weight. So I'm wrestling my weight class. If I wrestle against basically a guy version of me,
Uh huh.
that's just borderline unfair because that person, no matter what, is going to have a base level of strength higher than me.
Uh huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like dude, the day of tomorrow. You can honestly, you can come out as transgender and choose to like join us. See, imagine him against like, okay, how much do you weigh?
220.
220. Switches over. Already, he's coming in with more muscle mass, and he's coming into. It's
And I don't-
screwed.
I don't work out, but you know I'm
You
more.
could.
No, but I'm just saying like muscle wise, my muscles are more dense than a
Yeah,
female's.
for sure.
And it's a noticeable
Guns.
difference too. The notice it's not like
Women
it's
are
not like
soft.
us and women almost look the same. You know, it's like since ever it's been a physical difference. You see it every day. It's like it's not some you know.
And another thing, like with testosterone, it's a lot easier to get up and work out and
Mhm.
kind of get into a rhythm because your body releasing more testosterone makes your body want to work out more. It gives your body more energy. On the other hand, like women who try to work out, you know, their bodies don't really produce that much testosterone because it's not their hormone they produce. They
Yeah.
produce estrogen, and then that's sort of more, you know, aligning with like hormones and like, you know, their you know what I mean? It's just not testosterone. Yeah.
They're soft. They're very soft, though.
More women.
Women are soft, yeah.
Like squishy.
Yeah, they're squishy.
Okay. So
And it's not like a work ethic problem, you know. It's like a woman can have a work ethic at the same level as a man. It's just like it's the physical part that comes into play.
Yeah.
Also the intellect.
I don't believe that.
No, we're
okay, so no. Well, Juan, I disagree with that because the college I'm going to, it's 53% women and 47% men.
I don't think they even heard what he said, dude. I whispered it.
Yeah.
I whispered it.
Oh, you heard? Yeah.
What did you say?
He said he believes there's an intellectual difference.
Yeah,
between
Women are
guys.
different, no? They're different. though.
like intellect. Like,
They-
are you just like
they
pulling
think
inside your
differently.
ass?
They're well. I mean, if anything,
They're
they should be
girls.
smarter because. So okay, so when I think about it, like
Yeah, yeah, we're good.
we're gonna talk
I'm kind of good.
Okay.
Can
Yeah, I
stop
wanna-
the video.
But I can hella beat her
Stop
up
it.
even if she's
You just
smart.
want to finish this thought.
Yeah. Well,
Just finish your thought.
I mean, so I think it relates to the thing with physical strength. So basically, for the majority of our existence, we've been like a hunter-gatherer society, and guys have primarily been drones. They've been like soldiers. They've been hunters. So that's like a lot of running, a lot of like throwing, a lot of use of muscles, a lot of building up like just over generations and generations. We're building up muscle mass. We're becoming physically stronger because we're the specimen that goes out, fights, and like does all that stuff.
And the women were the organizers.
Yeah, exactly. They organized society.
They created the structure.
They communicated. They divided up what we had.
Women can communicate for sure. That's what
They were social. Women are more likely to be social
Yeah,
than males.
for sure, for sure.
That's, and I feel like that kind of lines up with our history too.
Yeah. Girls have their own like little perks. Seduction.
Yeah, that's kind of rough.
Seduction.
They're crazy good at that.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Any closing thoughts before we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, I just think we should just have a transgender league to.
Maybe we need a transgender
Yeah.
person here.
That'd be better.
They'd be different though.
Transgender person here
Yeah.
with us. I only know like a few.
They'd be
I don't
transgender.
know.
I don't know.
I think I know one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
Like-
there are any.
Yeah, I know one.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well,
I don't, you know, 30.
thanks for joining us.